and welcome to Season 19 of Undercurrent. We're back this year bringing you Perth's local stories. I'm your host, Elise Van Aken. The team at Fraser Motorcycles have proven they don't just have a passion for bikes, but for our community as well. Sandy DeRocco reports.
We're down at Fraser's Motorcycles today in Morley. They have so much to do with the community, and I'm really excited to speak to the dealer principal, Steve Curry, about how they get involved in the community and the amazing things that they do for charity. So Steve, how is Fraser's Motorcycles involved in the community?
So Fraser's is involved in a number of different facets in the community. So recently we had Santa in store this year. We thought we'd do it a little bit differently, where Santa turns up on a Harley Davidson in a Harley Davidson shop, giving an opportunity for a lot of young kids that never might have had the opportunity before to touch and feel and sit on a Harley. These kids in particular were special needs children. We actually took them for a couple of rides around the dealership as well as a photo with Santa and some lollies that they can take home and show their parents.
That's really sweet. Steve, tell me what brings you to Perth, because we have heard in the grapevine that you are one of Fraser's youngest DPs. Is that true?
That's correct. So I've been in the Fraser Motorcycles group for nearly 14 years. Started fresh out of high school in the warehouse and spare parts department. Worked through the parts into sales management, now into general management with my own store to look after at 30. It's been a wonderful experience. The owner of the business, Warren Fraser, and his partner Kathy Fraser, and my direct manager Darren Rogers are a wonderful support mechanism for us, and are definitely leading the way for motorcycling in 2017.
So what are some of the responsibilities for a dealer principal?
Well, basically the entire operations of the dealership falls on our shoulders. I've got an incredibly strong leadership team, so making sure each department is well and truly operating how it should. Customers are being looked after, and one of the primary roles that a good operator of a business has to do is make sure that you're continually working on the business and your strong leadership team are executing that in the business. So I spend a fair amount of my time operating within the community of WA, generating new campaigns, new events to make sure that we're not only selling motorcycles to the public of WA, but also giving back a large portion of that for tomorrow.
So Fraser's also assists physically challenged kids in bike riding. Tell me about some of those events, Steve.
So one in particular is through the Wanneroo Junior Motocross Club. They run a children's support group called Quad Dreamers, and that allows children that are physically disabled to be able to get onto a quad bike and enjoy the racetrack like all the other kids at the club. And we have a very active involvement with a lot of social clubs, a lot of associations. Their primary focus is raising money for certain charities, and we host a lot of support here at the store for those clubs.
Tell us about a girls' night in and men's boot camp and your street parties.
So what they are is specific events targeted to different demographics within the riding community. Some learner riders, some experienced riders, things male orientated, female orientated, some of our smaller capacity motorbikes, all the way through to what we call fit, function, style and performance. So basically allowing people to know what is capable within the brand to do for the motorbikes they're interested in.
And you're involved in Ronald McDonald House, Princess Margaret, and also recently I've heard that there was a pretty big deal for a 95th birthday present for a digger, is that right?
Correct. A gentleman by the name of Jack, one of the most inspirational men that I've had the pleasure of meeting here in Perth. 95, used to have a motorcycle, rode many years ago, but due to health reasons hasn't sat on one in quite some time. So we've got a crew of our staff and a large amount of the motorcycle riding community, about 120, 130 riders. We surprised him at his doorstep. Took him for a ride in his honour and brought him to our dealership for an open day specifically in his honour, and he had an absolute blast. He loved it.
What's coming up for 2017? What can we expect from Fraser's?
2017 has a big year ahead for us. We've got a number of different events and campaigns we're running in store. We've got ladies' nights coming up, men's nights coming up, new model launches. We've got a lot of community events. For instance, Dragonfire Boxing, Thunderdome are holding another in-store weigh-in here at the store, which we do every couple of months with them, and that's been a wonderful injection into the sporting community of WA as well.
Steve, thank you for your time today. You've got a very impressive showroom, and I look forward to coming down again and maybe taking a ride on one of these Ducatis.
You're more than welcome. Thanks for coming down.
I'm Sandy DiRocco for Undercurrent.
Alfred Koech is one of the University of Western Australia's athletic stars, and he has crossed the globe to chase his dreams. Here's Angela Albuquerque with his story.
I'm Alfred Koech. I'm a runner. Basically, my main event is the 800 and 1500 meters. I come from Kenya, a place called Eldoret in the Rift Valley. It's more inland from the city. It's close to 300 kilometers away from the city. It's a bit remote. First of all, when I got here, I used to miss my mates. It's better now because I got a few friends from Australia and the Kenyans here in Perth. I miss the Kenyan food, of course, the milk, the soy milk that we call murshik. Since I'm a middle distance runner, I try to do like in between 60 to 80 kilometers a week. With a current coach, I do training like at least 4 times a week. That we meet with a group together and train together, and as well as 2 more days on my own.
Yeah, Alfred's a very talented, very strong athlete. He's come from Kenya some years ago. Well, the club's UWA Athletics Club, and we're a subgroup of that. So we're 15 to 20 athletes in that age group, between 16 to 25, 26. And we train together 4 times a week. The Kenyans are they're very relaxed runners, but they're also very disciplined athletes as well. It is because they're great athletes, but also they bring a wealth of knowledge about middle distance running, and they become great role models for the other members of the squad. Well, the difference between Kenya and Australia, where these guys are from, is that they're training at altitude, so the air has less oxygen in it, so that's in effect another training environment.
Athletics was in me since I was young. I started running when I was in primary school through to high school, but I wasn't that fancy with it. Like, I wasn't so serious with it until when I once represented my skill and when I was in year 10, and I really performed well. My school teacher told me, "Oh, Alfred, you can do better." After my year 12, I went to the camp. I had a good friend, and he took me to the camp and introduced me to a coach who used to take guys to the US to run for the universities there through scholarship. But when they did my time trial, I performed well, but eventually I didn't get a visa. And then after that, I was discouraged, went back home, went back to construction, which was so weird. And I did some construction work, and when I was doing the construction work, an idea came up from the group. I came together with the youths. I registered with the government and I worked with them. And their parents were so much impressed with my performance, as well as I was doing the construction work. I was engaging with the youths in the community. And later on, they came up together and they were like, "Oh, Alfred, what ambition do you got in life?" And I told them I really want to further my studies. Back in Kenya, the community think they still work, and they helped me out. They had a fundraiser. I managed my first school fees to come to Australia, and that's how I came to Australia.
Kenyan athletes generally, internationally, will run anywhere from 800s right out to the marathon, and they, on the world stage, the leading nation for a number of years. But I've no doubt that if they wanted to, they could also be outstanding 400 runners. They have got great speed as well as great endurance. I'd be more than keen to have more Kenyan runners join our group. I think it builds the strength of our group. There's a camaraderie that happens when you get enough people running together, and it improves the standard, and it makes the sessions easier to get through. So it's motivating having other people with you.
Here in Perth, we got about more than 2,000 students and people working from Kenya. I've seen myself as a role model, not only to the Kenyan community here in Australia, Perth, but also back in my community in Kenya, because all the youths around my area and in my village are looking up to me, like they want to be Alfred. That's why I keep going, because I really want to influence 2 or 3 people as well to change their lives. Through the organization that I run as well back home, it's called Lands Foundation. I'm the co-founder of it. When I came to Perth as well, I got an opportunity to be the captain to the University of Edith Cowan, which is a very rare opportunity actually to be to be in a place for a very short time of period, and you've given the mantle. In my athletics career, I'm really wishing. Even there's the Commonwealth Games that is coming to Australia in 2018. If I get a chance, even representing Australia through sports, I'm really looking into it. I'll appreciate if I get a chance. If not, I'll still try my best even to go back to Kenyan, run through the trials and come back around here as well. But yeah, I really wish to represent Australia in that in the Commonwealth Games, because I've been here. I've been training with the best of the best athletes here in Perth, and I'm used to the climate here. So yeah, I wish to.
A day that is meant to bring us together as a nation is dividing our community. Angela Albuquerque went to ask the people of Perth City if they think Australia Day's date should change.
On the 26th of January, hundreds of thousands of West Australians will flock to the foreshore to watch the fireworks and to be together. Is the date, the 26th of January, relevant for all Australians? And does Australia Day bring all of us together for the right reasons?
It certainly has in the past. It seems to be a bit more controversial at the moment, and perhaps it's getting a little bit too PC in some spots. But I think it still does.
It's a great time for everyone to come together, all Australians to come together and just have a great day.
I don't see it overly as a day of massive celebration, but I think it's more of an opportunity to sit down with family and friends and appreciate what you have, and also think about the people who haven't got things as well.
It's a good day for me to enjoy spending time with my family and my friends. And it's just a celebration of being proud to be Australian.
Australia Day is a wonderful day because everyone is happy celebrating our memories and what happened in Australia before. And it's a wonderful day, yeah.
It's a good day. It's like you see every single nationality come together to celebrate one beautiful day, which is Australia Day. I mean, you can't ask for more.
And what do you think about spending all the money on the fireworks? Is that good?
I think it's money well spent. I know there's been a bit of controversy about cancelling the fireworks, but it's only that one day a year, Australia Day, and I feel like it's nice to celebrate when we founded Australia.
I wouldn't even want to hazard a guess at how much money is spent on those fireworks, but I think it brings so many people into the city that I'm sure the business revenue that's there must increase for the night, so someone's definitely reaping the benefits of that expenditure.
I think it's a community event. I just think the day is the wrong day in terms of the 26th of January. Australia Day to me should be on the day of Federation, which is the 1st of January, so we either have it on the 1st of January, 26th of January I think is the wrong time.
It is the 26th of January, and it should be the 26th of January, although, historically it wasn't. If you go far enough back when Australia Day was first imagined, every state had a different one. So I know there's the whole rape and pillage concept, but 26th has been in my memory, so 26th it is.
Yeah, it's a good day. It'd be better if it was on a long weekend, but
I think it's as good as any.
What do you think about the date, the 26th of Jan?
I would say I think that would be highly offensive to Aboriginal people because it brings up that image of, their land being taken away from them. So I can understand why they would get mad. If it's going to invoke those kinds of feelings in, people, I would say move it to another date.
What would you give a definition to be Australian as?
There is no definition. It's who you are. Australia is just part of who you are. It's not a specific thing. As long as you're here, and that's it. That's all Australian is to me.
I didn't born in Australia, but I feel the same. This is beautiful country. This people is beautiful. Everyone is the same. This is good. It's great experience.
Yeah, it's a multicultural country, and that's just the way it is.
Angela Albuquerque for Undercurrent.
Stick around, Undercurrent will be back after a short break. Hello, you're watching Undercurrent. The exciting Jambo Africa Festival is back for another year. Angela Albuquerque went to find out how this year's event will stand out from the rest. Jambo.
Jambo. Jambo is Swahili Zulu name. Like one of my friends says, Africa is not a country. Africa is a continent. There is been languages that always travel between each country, and Jambo is a language that most African countries understand. Jambo means say hello. Jambo there will represent come and say hello to every other person in Australia, in WA, and get to know what culture they represent.
Certainly also looking forward to Jambo 2017 on the 25th of February at Stirling Gardens. Yeah, Jambo 2017 will be a festival, a small festival of African music and culture, and everyone should come out and see that event.
Like this Organization of African Communities are having their event on the 25th of February, which is Jambo Africa, as a way of how can we celebrate the diversity within the African communities here in Perth, and even coming along to something like that, learning about cultures that you don't know about. This is a way that we can move forward, and vice versa. There's such a richness in Perth, and so I think we've got a great opportunity to showcase that and start actually working together and celebrating difference and being comfortable with allowing multiple perspectives, not always thinking about, how does this affect me and my own, but opening our minds a little bit. And I think that this is a great opportunity for us to do it, and we're certainly in the right city for this to happen.
Africa is a very diverse continent, and Western Australia, African population continues to increase. And we cannot serve the entire African community in WA, but equally we need a very huge representation to work with. So it's important for us because it means that we are reaching out, we are following our objectives, and we're doing what we're supposed to do. There's an amazing future out there for the Organisation of African Communities in Western Australia, because a lot of people are believing what we're doing. There are actions, there are great things being done that never happened before. So we got a very great future, and you could see the amount of commitments from pastors, from community leaders, and other great people that, look, we like what you're doing, and we're going to work with you in 2017.
The most fantastic thing is that people like Joe and some of his committee have sort of really taken the next step in building self-resilience, in lifting their own communities and the greater African community to greater heights. And this is done by means of projects and by putting together programs that the youth can understand, guided by their elders and guided by the local government service providers as to how to do it here in WA and how to take that next step. And then, look, these youth and champions that we develop then show the way for the next ones to come. Police and other government departments cannot do it on their own. So the community leaders, if we teach them correct and they show powerful leadership, then the effect flows down so that the community themselves learns, and in particular the youth. And that stems not just from the leadership group, but down through the families. But your African and your Middle Eastern brothers and sisters are not unalike to you. And basically give them a chance to prove that they also want to become mainstream, and they can provide a lot of rewards. We don't want them to lose their traditions. We don't want them to lose their nationality. We want them to become part of the broad tapestry of Perth. Australia is really multicultural and will continue to be so like the rest of the world. And I think Perth is a beautiful city that has a chance to adopt it and really show the flavours that are on display.
We're going to have several African artists performing. We're going to have cultural performances. We're going to have some stalls. We're going to have the kids' family playing groups, some events there, competitions. We're going to even have church choirs coming to sing their cultural traditional dances. A very, very fruitful event. The event is in City of Stirling because it's a very ideal spot. We got the train there, we got the bus there, we got parking there, so that the last Jambo Festival we had a lot of logistics issues. But this time, no complaint, everybody is welcome. Please come and show us what you got. Every country should be represented. You can contact me on OSE or on direct. You can ring my number. My number is 0407754953. One more time, 0407754953. Every community must be represented, please. The event is going to start around 4 o'clock till late 8 o'clock in the night. We want to make sure every person gets enough time to avail themselves up, because most of us work during the morning hours, and in the afternoon is very good for family businesses. So this is the correct time for it. It's important for our younger generation to know our culture, because being in Australia, they get to forget exactly where they come from. And things like Jambo Festival, it does showcase exactly what they represent, even if they haven't been in it, but it does dwell in the mind of, as they grow up, they always remember this event used to be there, and this is what they used to do, this is what they used to say, and things like that.
An old favourite in Joondalup, the Bailey Bar and Bistro has stood strong over the years and is continuing to provide good times for locals. Here's Sandy DeRocco.
We are at the front of Bailey's Bar and Bistro, and the atmosphere tonight is absolutely electric. I'm so excited to speak to Deb Elliott, the owner and director of this place, to find out what keeps her customers coming back. Deb, how are you feeling tonight?
Yeah, good. How about you?
Good, thank you. Look, there's been a huge turn in the economic downfall. How's that affected your business in terms of, you know, being a restaurateur?
I think it's affected everybody. I think you have to be smarter in what you do and what you offer. We do a lot more specials. We try to entice our customers in with beer specials, with food specials. We work a lot with family environment, so therefore we like to offer the children Kids Eat Free. You just have to work harder and offer people more, because you realise that don't have as much money to spend anymore, so therefore it's my job to get them to come in the door and spend it with me. Whatever I can do to get involved in the community, I'm the first one to put my hand up, and I'm the first one to be there at the door, because it's all about community based. I sponsor a lot of big teams, and again, the boys are good to me, but I do look after the boys a lot. You've got to be involved. You've got to be involved with people. They've got to see you being involved, and it entices them to come back because they feel welcome and they feel loved. And you've got to go around the tables, acknowledge people, and again, it's an incentive for them to walk in the door and not be treated as a stranger by anyone, and they'll think, well, I'll go and see her because she looks after me. Give them a drink on the table, put a bottle of wine on the table as a thank you very much for coming in the door. It doesn't matter, but they come back and they're very welcome to come back, and they're comfortable when coming back.
Gentleman tonight because it's his birthday, and I thought that he was having a crack because he said his name was Jack Daniel. In fact, he proved to me that his name is in fact Jack Daniels. So, how has your night been tonight?
Absolutely smashed.
Are you a local down here?
I am. I'm up in Ocean Reef, originally from Manchester, but been here 11 years now, so absolutely loving it.
And what keeps you coming back here, Jack?
Good food, good vibes, drink, obviously. But yeah, there's plenty around here, but I mean, Old Bailey is one of those places you got to go down to. Locals you run into all the time. They're always up for the same thing, bit of banter, bit of a laugh. Yeah, same old deal, so it's all good.
Have you been a regular here, or is this just one night off and just celebrating?
Regulars here for a while.
And how do you find coming down to the Baileys?
I like it. It's quite chill. I like it.
Family environment?
Yeah, and they have good food, and they yeah, I like it.
I'm here with Todd Johnston tonight.
who is he is performing some entertainment. Todd, what are you doing here tonight at the Old Bailey's?
Well, first of all, I'm having a cup of coffee, which is the best coffee that I've had all day. I'm only saying that because she's sitting over there. But we're here to entertain. You know, Todd Johnson and Peace Love. We play up here on a Saturday night. There's a lot of people that come up and have a good feed, and it's like a venue, and I have to say this with love and affection, it's like a venue from the 80s.
Okay. I mean, you're a very well household name. People trust you. Oh, absolutely. You know,
I owe money to someone or something.
yeah, no. People trust you. We value your opinion. What would you be able to say about a place like this?
Well, we love a place like this because it employs local musos. There's not a lot of venues in town that actually get out there and employ the local musos, be they cover band or original bands. You know, we love the doof music, but the musos have got to get out there and master their trade. And I love it. I love the Bailey. It's a good north of the river, suburban venue. There's a great vibe. It's Saturday night right now. You can hear a bit of a vibe in the background. People come up for a bit of a smile and a laugh, and we'll fill the dance floor. And if you guys stay, you might actually, you know, recognise some of the songs. Well, two of the songs.
We've had an absolutely amazing night tonight. The customers keep coming back for more for this service. It's incredible. I can't wait to see you down here. I'm Sandy DiRocco for Undercurrent.
Thanks for tuning in to our first episode of 2017. We'll see you next time on Undercurrent.